Hi, my name is Bob Mead, CEO and founder of iQagent. Welcome to the second installment in my video series on our mobile app, iQagent, creating points of interest for your plant floor with iQagent. So let's get started. So here you see the desktop of my iPad. I'm going to launch iQagent. I will scan the POI code. It comes up roll motor 1, so this is the data view of the point of interest. I can tap these data points and they will show up on a trend screen that I've got configured. We've got different types of data, floating points, integers, booleans, and I will hit the information button. And this will flip over to the info view of this point of interest. You can see we've got several documents. I'll just touch schematics and it'll show the schematics for this. If I want it bigger, I can either zoom, long press to bring it up full screen. I also have a safety form, so I would fill this out before I'm doing any type of maintenance. I've got a preventative maintenance form, and we also have a movie. Okay, so a lot of people ask me, how hard is it to configure these points of interest? Do I have to be a programmer or a developer? The answer is no. iQagent is completely off the shelf, so I'm going to rebuild this point of interest right in front of you. So let's get started. So here we have the iQagent configuration tool. It is a web-based tool and it can be installed in your plant. You can get to it from anywhere. And here we have our groups and groups within groups. This creates the menu on the client. You can pull up POIs using a menu as well as by scanning a QR code. So I will create our point of interest under the maintenance group. I will create a new group, roll motors, and we'll just say it's line 1. And I'll click on our new group, and in the middle we have our points of interest, so I'll click add POI. We will call this roll motor number 1, give it a location, and we'll just click add. And if I want to configure it, I just click on the name, and here's our POI. You can see we already have the QR code. Once the QR code is generated, it never changes, so these can be printed out. We have our info view and data view. These represent the two views of our point of interest. But first, let's take a look at the files and resources we want to use on info view. So here I've got a capacitor parts list. I've got a set of motor schematics. I've got a preventive maintenance inspection form. And I also have some links. This is a link to a safety form that we created with our form designer in iQagent, and also a video. And also here's our serial number for the motor. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this. And for the info view, if I want to add a static piece of information, I choose note. And I say this is the serial number and just put the value right here. Click add info. If I've got my files on SharePoint, then I would use URL and just link to the file sitting on electronic document management. But we can also use the iQagent configuration tool as a file repository. In this case, we'd choose file. I'll grab my capacitor parts list, give it a name. I'll choose reader mode, so this is nice and big, and just click add info. I'll follow the same procedure to add in my schematics. I will also open these in reader mode and just click add. Now I'll go back and grab the link to my Take 5 safety form, and I'll choose URL, paste it in, add in a description, and I will open this in Safari and click add info. Finally, we'll do our movie. This is also a URL, and I'll just open this in a child window and add some descriptions and click add. So at this point our info view is done and we can move to our data view. So we talk to the process using OPC-DA or OPC-UA or ODBC, which is databases. So I'll choose OPC, and this is a local OPC server. We can see a list of OPC servers, so we support any OPC server out there. Allen Bradley, Wonderware, WinCC. We also like Kepware, so I'll choose Kepware. And I will just browse where the tags for this motor are. they are in a folder called production. And you can see we have 4 values here. I will choose them all and just click add. So now all 4 of those points are associated with this point of interest data view. I can edit the settings. I can change the charting color, change the range, set my formats, and also format the data any way that I want. And then just choose Update. If you want to get data out of a database instead, like SQL Server or Oracle, I can choose ODBC. These are system data source names that I've created previously, so I'll select the one that I want. Here we're looking at a SQL Server database. Since this is live data, it is going to resolve to a single point, so I will go to the table and column that I want. I can also edit my own SQL query if I want. I can hit test, and it does get a return. It tells me what type of data it is, and I'll choose save. The great thing about it is now we're done. I can actually scan this QR code right off the screen and see my new point of interest, so let's try that. I will take iQagent, scan the QR code. Up comes the documents, so I guess we defaulted to the info view on this. I'll pull up parts list. There's my parts list. It opens in reader mode. Pull up my schematics. It also opens in reader mode. Here's my Take 5 safety form. It opened up in Safari. I can hit back to iQagent at the top. And then finally, my movie. And the movie comes up in a child screen just like we configured. So we can flip over to the data view and see the points that we configured. There's my motor temp. I can touch these. They'll show up on our trend chart. That's what we had configured. You see our database point there at the bottom. And also, if you remember, we don't have to scan a QR code to pull up a point of interest. You see if I go under maintenance, there is our roll motors group. If I touch that, here is the POI that I created. I touch that, and it also brings up roll motor. The great thing about this is if I go back to our configuration tool, I can say change our default mode here. And then if we go back to the iPad, clear this and bring it back up, it'll come up directly to the data view. So it's instantaneous and global. So you can see iQagent is very simple to configure. You don't have to be a developer. All you really need to know is for each piece of equipment where the resources are. You can associate them. You can start using this on day 1. So thanks for watching. In our next series, number 3, I'm going to be talking about some advanced features of the iOS iQagent client.